Hello and welcome to another of Mrs. Patnell's phonics videos. This is for group 2, so we are learning phase 3 sounds. Let's give my board a wipe so we're ready to do some writing if we need to. Okay, I'm going to start today with the tricky words because I wasn't going to forget, I think. So how I'm going to do it this time is I'm going to lay them out on the table. Do forgive my table if it's a bit dusty. I'm having the kitchen done as we film, so it's in a bit of a mess. So I'm going to put them here. Can we see them? Yes, we can. And I'm going to lay some out, say a tricky word, and I want you to point to the right one, okay? So hopefully you can see those okay. Right, can you point to the tricky word? That is he, he. Think about the first sound helping you. So you should be pointing to, this one is he, is helping you, making an E sound. As so many of the phase 3 tricky words have that making an E sound. Okay, next 3. Can you point to the tricky word be, be? Have a think about that first sound helping you. Let's tilt that a little bit more. Be. There is be, helping you with a B, making the E sound. Okay, next one. Let's mix these up a bit with some phase 2 ones. Can you point to the tricky word my? My. First sound is helping you. Second sound is tricking you. My. So this is my. I'm hoping you can see those okay. They look a bit flat, don't they, on the camera? Let's bring them a little closer. So this one is my. Okay, so let's pop my over here. And then let's lay this one down. Let's go over phase 2. Okay, here we go. Right, can you point to the tricky word that says the, with my tongue poking out, the. Here is the. Hopefully you've pointed to the right one. Okay, let's go with which tricky word is the word no, no. First sound is helping you. Here is no. Right, let's try with this one. Can you point to the tricky word I? Everyone's favourite. There it is. And now, can you point to the tricky word me? Me. First sound helping you. Second sound tricking you, making an E sound. There is me. Right, can you now point to the tricky word we? We. First sound is helping you. We. Here it is. We. Right, can you point to the tricky word was? We haven't quite got used to this one yet, I don't think. It's quite early days with was. If you blend it, it blends like was, because certain things are tricking you. The at is certainly tricking you, making an off sound. So this is was. Looks like was when you blend it. Right, next one. Can you point to the tricky word to? First sound helping you, second sound tricking you. To. Here is to. Right, can you point to, I'm going to throw this one down. I don't normally include this one because most of it is blendable and the other part of it we already know. Can you point to the tricky word into? Into. The in is all helping you. To is tricking you just like the word to by itself. Into. Here is into. Can you now point to the tricky word she? She. Look for the sh digraph, it's helping you. She. So last of all, what is this tricky word? First sound is helping you, second sound is tricking you, is go. Well done with all those tricky sounds if you pointed to the right one most of the time. Right, okay, let's move on. Let's look at the sound of the day. Okay, so the sound today is going to be, let me just check because my days are blending into one another. Right, okay, it's this one. Let's tilt ourselves back up, otherwise you're not going to see much at all. Okay, sound of the day is this one, okay? It's made with the letter A if we're using its letter name, and the letter R if we're using its letter name. And R is how we know them most familiarly. So when they are together, they are no longer and r when they're together. Okay, when they're separate, still the sound, still the r sound that I've taught you. But when they sit next to each other in a word, okay, they will make the r sound. R. Can you say r? Okay, now the R sound and the action that goes with it is that you've got to imagine you're at the doctor's with a sore throat and you're going up to the doctor and you're opening up so he can look at your tonsils and you're making the R sound. I don't know if you've ever had to do that at the doctor's, but certainly when they want to look down at your throat to see if it's inflamed, open up your mouth, R, so they can see right down to your tonsils. So that is the sound of the day. And when I flash this flashcard to you, you have to open your mouth and go, ah, like this, because it is the R sound, okay? We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's just flick through some flashcards. I'm going to throw in some phase 2s because I don't want you to forget what they look like. But mostly I'm going to do phase 3s, okay? So let's tackle a few phase 2s. What is this one? Oh, so you're licking lollies. And this one. And this one. You're breaking your eggs. Let's go with this one. And what about this one? Let's go with the one we first ever learnt. And this one with the tall back first. It must be a b. And let's go with this one. Right, I think that will do for phase 2s. Let's go through our phase 3s that we now know. So, yesterday's sound of the day. Remember, it can be 2 sounds. I want the one as in book. So, b, the short one, like you've been duffed in the belly. And then this one is the longer one, like someone's walking past in a fantastic pair of shoes and you're like, ooh. Okay, so this is the long sound as in moon. Ooh, So we've got as in book or ooh as in moon. Ooh. So actually the action you have to do is like a cuckoo, isn't it? Ooh. Right. This one I noticed had slipped through the net yesterday. I must have left the flashcard at school, so I've done a little makeshift one on my own. O and A, when they are together, they make the sound oh, like oh dear, oh. This one that goes down, up is ooh. Nice long pointy face. This one, z. These two together, same letter, but when it's together, it's not it is donkey's E. We're doing the or sound tomorrow, so you'll recognise E and then or to follow come tomorrow. Trigraph here. What could this trigraph be? We have got ig or IGH if we're using their actual names. What sound do they make when they're all together? Aye, Captain, aye. These two, A and I. A. Z. Get out those yogurts that are yellow and say y. This one. X. This one with the dot and the loop is j. This one. Driving my van. These two when they're together, we learnt this about 2 lessons ago. What is this one? You got to lift up your weights, kind of feel yourself pinching your nose together and make the sound as you lift your weights like a strong person. This one, 2 sounds. Let's hear the one like the breeze. Poke your tongue out and say. Roll that tongue back in a little bit, but still between your teeth and make the louder sound. Oh, tickled my tongue. And this one, when these two are together, the letter Q and the letter U, when they are together, they make qua. These two. Shh. And these two. Wow, lots of new digraphs. So tricky to remember all those and trying to make your brain not think and I but to think A and stuff like that, it's very hard to reprogram how your brains will think. So well done if you got a lot of those right. Okay, going back to the sound of the day, which is our R sound. There it is, made with the letter A and the letter R if we're using their letter names. So let's have a quick go at writing on our boards, just so we get the right order. 2 different letters, so it's so important we get them in the right order. If I put R first and A afterwards, it's a whole different sound. It's not R at all. So I have to start with the A, and we all remember how to do an A. It's good to write it as well because we don't want to forget how to write these sounds that we originally learnt on their own in phase 2. So we have got A and R together, so with a sound cradle underneath, they make the R sound. R. There it is on our board. Right, let's have a go at revisiting. What have I got down on my list? Let's revisit yesterday's ooh. Super easy revisiting this one. I'm gonna do it straight away. I'm gonna give you a chance to write it. The ooh sound on your board could be the short could be the longer ooh. It would be an R followed by the same letter again, another R, or 2 O's if you want to use their letter names. So ooh. Can we also revisit the or the louder sound? Can we have a go? What 2 letters make the or sound? What 2 letters do that? If you can remember one, that's cracking. Particularly if it's the first one, then often the second one will just pop into your head. So the first one in the or sound is t. What comes next? What's its friend making the or sound? It is a, and the is ever so slightly taller than the t, not by much though. And there you go, the or sound. There it is. Right, I would say let's revisit one more sound. Let's revisit qua. Let's do qua. So remember, we don't write this letter very often because it only really ever comes along with its friend doesn't like to ever work alone. So we go like a curly cur, go up the side, down, and it's with the cool tick on the end, so we quite like doing it. So like a curly cur, but then up the side, but remember to go straight down and a tick to do the letter Q. And then with it comes his friend, the or the U if we're using letter names. So there you have the qua sound. Well done if you got those 2 right. Okay, let's now have a look at playing buried treasure. Why not? Let's have a go at buried treasure. So I've got my bin here. And I have got my treasure chest. Here it is, courtesy of Freddo Frog. Here we go. So as you know, rubbish words will go into the bin. Real words will go, hopefully, into my treasure chest. Remember, it's not so important to work out if they're real or rubbish. The important thing is that you are blending and reading the word, even when it's a nonsense word, because that's kind of tricky to do that. Okay, now this will have the sound of the day in these words. Not all of them. Some of them will have yesterday's or ooh sound in them, okay? So keep your eye out for those digraphs. I might put a few sound buttons and cradles on the first few, but then I want you to get used to doing them and looking out for digraphs now, because that's what you have to do in reading books. They won't have sound buttons and cradles in place for you in your reading books. Okay, so here is my first coin. So this is the sound of yesterday in the middle. You can see a single sound, a digraph, and a single sound. Have a go at blending that. I'm going to do it with you now. Let's go for the long ooh. Ooh, noom. Noom. Real or rubbish? Noom? Noom is rubbish. In the bin with noom. You might have blended it as noom. That's fine. It's a rubbish word. So you could have gone with the long oo or the short It wouldn't have mattered as it's a rubbish word. No right one on that answer. Okay, sound of the day here. I've given you the sound buttons and cradles to help you out to recognise the sound of the day. Single sound followed by the digraph of the day. Have a go at blending that. We've got la, la, la. Now this is a little bit cheeky. You might say that this is a real word. You might say it's rubbish. Now the way it's written is not like la, la, la when you're singing. It's actually, we've spelt differently. So it's a rubbish word. But I found that a bit tricky, that one. Put it in the bin. Okay, last one where I'm going to give you sound buttons and cradles. Then I want you to start hunting out the digraphs yourself. Here you go. And it is the digraph of the day. Have a go at blending that. So we've got b, r, digraph of the day, ark, bark, real rubbish. It's real. Woof, woof. The dog is barking. Right, it's in my treasure chest. Now, next one, I'm not going to give you sound buttons and cradles. Look out for the digraphs. Have a good look. Have a go at blending. Okay, so you got a single sound at the beginning. Z. Then you got the digraph of yesterday. We could try it with the short one first. And then you got the single sound on the ends. You got z, zum. What about if we go long? Z, zoom. Zoom. I like the sound of that. Zoom. Real or rubbish? It's real. If you zoom somewhere, you're going very fast. Oh, treasure chest, I think, is upside down. Keeps falling over. Okay, next one. I'm not putting sound buttons again, but hunt the digraphs out. It might be yesterday's digraph. So have a go at blending. Okay, I'm going to do it with you now. Single sound. Ooh. All. Wool. 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 Real or rubbish? Wool. It is real. You knit with wool, don't you? Pop it in. Okay. Next one up. Hunt the digraph. It's in there. Okay, we have got single sound. T. Digraph of the day. Ah. Single sound on the end. K. T. Ark. T. Ark. Tark. Real or rubbish? Tark. It is a rubbish word. In the bin with tark. Okay, next one. Look for digraphs. Okay, have a go at blending that. Right, so let's have a go at doing it together. We've got the single sound g. In the middle, we've got either the short sound or the long sound oo. Let's go with the long sound oo, shall we? G, oot. Goot. Goot. Real or rubbish? It's a rubbish word. It sounds a bit like goat, but it's not. It's goot. So in the bin with goot. Okay, have a look at this one. Single sound. Hunt the digraph. And then a single sound on the end. We have got oot. Root. 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 Real or rubbish? Roots are real, and as we're growing our own food, it's very important to know that they'll grow with a root in the ground. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Let's hunt the digraph there. Hopefully you've had a go at blending it yourself. We've got single sound k. Digraph of the day. Ark. Ar. Car. Real or rubbish? It's real. Drive the car into the treasure chest. Two more. Have a look at this one. Hunt the digraph. It is in there. Have a go at blending it. We have got single sound. Digraph of the day. R. And then D on the end. Hard. 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 Real or rubbish? It's real. That wasn't hard to work out at all. Last one. Hunt the digraph. What is my word? Have a go at blending it. So we've got single sound P. Digraph of the day. R. And then D on the end. P. Ard. Pard. Real or rubbish? Pard. Pard is a rubbish word. It's like the beginning of pardon, but without the on part. It's just pard. So it is rubbish. Fantastic job. If you did rather well on those, pat yourself on the back. Right, finishing up with some sentences. they will have the digraph of the day in them. I will underline sound buttons right now on the first sentence, but then I'm going to leave you to it. So, there we go. Let's have a look at that. Hang on, because there's a few words in this. There will also be other digraphs that we have learnt as well along the last few weeks. So this will help you keep your eyes peeled on the first sentence, but then I'm going to leave you to it on the other two. So pause the video, have a go at reading this with your sound buttons and cradles to help you hunt the digraphs. And I'm going to read it with you now. Lovely capital ooh at the beginning, finger spaces between words, and punctuated with a question mark at the end. So it's a question. We've got ooh, it'll, ooh, ill, will, a, dog, dog, b, digraph of the day, bark, bark. If, it, sees, a, digraph of the day, ark, shark. Will a dog bark if it sees a shark? Do you know what? I think it probably would. Depending on the dog, but I imagine it probably would. Okay, second sentence. No sound buttons and cradles to help you, so you must hunt the digraphs by yourself. Pause the video and have a go at reading it. Okay, I'm going to read it with you now. It'll, will, it, tricky word, be, digraph of the day, hard, tricky word, digraph of the day, ark, park. Will it be hard to park? Tricky word from phase 3, helping you, making an I sound, my, digraph of the day, ark, car, on, this, road. Will it be hard to park my car on this road? That is a tricky sentence because there's so many digraphs. You've got the O digraph, the digraph, the R one. Gosh, there's tons in there, plus lots of tricky words. Okay, last one. This is the shortest one of them all. Have a look at that sentence and have a go at blending it yourself. I'm going to go through it with you now. It's, is, it, digraph of the day, ark, dark. Is it dark on, tricky word, the, let's go long on this one, moon. Is it dark on the moon? Is it dark on the moon? I wonder. So, okay, the stretch task I will leave you with today, if you're feeling full of energy, and maybe a little fed up with going out in the snow, who knows, then you can have a go at writing that last one because it was the shortest of the sentences. So, is it dark on the moon? Only 6 words to write in your stretch sentence today. So, is it dark on the moon? Don't forget your digraphs. How do you write them? Punctuate it. It is a question, so it will need a question mark. Don't forget your capital letters at the beginning and beautiful finger spaces between each word. Is it dark on the moon? And I will see you again tomorrow for another new sound. Bye-bye. Take care.